are not satisfied, you should speak out and complain. You also have a right to redress, for things to be set right for you. And then, of course, if there's need for compensation, if you have been defrauded in one way or the other, you have a right to compensation. And then you also have the right to have access to information on your bills. They should tell you, this is how much you have been charged. Yes. Okay. So, and then, of course, okay, he has already mentioned it. They should give you the opportunity to opt out of any service, any unsolicited service
that doesn't satisfy you. Okay, rights, as they say, always go with responsibilities. And we found that where a consumer has exercised has used up their responsibility, it's easier to safeguard their rights in that respect. What sort of responsibility is expected of a consumer in this sector?
Yeah, for me, the greatest responsibility a consumer has is that of being proactive enough to get to know what he is buying. They need to ask enough questions about the products they are going in for. They need to be watchful. You have like many people don't even read their bills. If you don't read your bills, how would you know that you have been shortchanged here and there? So consumers should be a little bit more proactive, and sometimes these telecom services can be quite technical. And you need to ask more questions so that you know where your right is being infringed.
Mr. Chimogu, what is the aim of consumer protection in this sector? What does the CPC intend to achieve?
We want service providers to respect the rights and be responsive to their consumers. Okay? We also want them to respect the right of the consumer to choice, the choice to opt in and opt out. The service providers should respect the privacy of their consumers. I mean, if I give you my information, okay, I don't expect that you would give it to someone else to sell anything to me for any reason. And we also expect that the service providers provide opportunities for consumers to get redress where they feel their rights have been trampled upon. That would give the consumer the kind of confidence that the service provider does not just want to take his money, but also wants to provide service.
Exactly.
So that would help. It will help the symbiotic relationship between the consumer and the service provider.
Thank you very much. We've been discussing the topic consumer protection in the telecom sector. What you need to know. Don't go away. We'll be right back after this break. Welcome back. Before we went on the break, we were discussing the rights and responsibility of every consumer as it relates to the telecommunications sector. If you're just joining us, you can catch up by following us on all our other platforms, Twitter, Facebook, our website, and of course, our contact details are being displayed on your screen. Mrs. Uwachuku, we've been discussing services and all of that. Let's look at the hardware issues. You have the phones, the tablets, and the computers, all of this. Okay. What should a consumer be aware of as it relates to the products themselves?
Thank you. The very minimum that a consumer needs to access these services we're talking about, this hardware you're talking about. Take your phones, for instance. And then because these manufacturers know that Nigeria actually is a very big market, so the markets are actually flooded with all types of handsets and iPads and the likes, and so the consumer actually needs both substandard and standard ones, and so the consumer needs to be armed with skills to actually be able to buy standard ones. And some of these, for instance, is the knowledge of the fact that every equipment has a unique number they call IMEI number. IMEI standing for International Mobile Equipment Identity, and it's actually a 15-digit number you find at the base of the battery. So for instance, if you want to buy a handset and you really want to be sure it's genuine, it's original, all you need to do is to dial on that handset. You don't need the SIM. Just dial *#06#. It will display those 15 digits. So you just confirm if the 15 digits you find there is the same as what you have at the back of the battery. Then at least you are sure that this particular handset is the original. And then there's still other things that the consumer should do. You should be sure you buy from reputable outlets. There are a lot of hawkers out there, and then the likelihood of your buying substandard products is more, it's there. So you buy from reputable outlets where you can fall back to, you can go back to and get redress. And then you should also endeavor to insist on getting a warranty, at least a 12-month warranty. Some of these come with the pack already warranty 12 months. If not, you could actually insist that you have it written on your receipt, so that if you run into any problems, you could always go back and get redress. It makes things easier. And then also part of the concerns we have about handsets and all that are the radiations. You know, these are equipments that work with radio frequencies, and so they must always radiate. And we know that these radiations can be hazardous, but then there are permitted levels. They call SAR, surface absorption rates.
Okay.
And so, but this one is technical. If you are so concerned about that, you can take the equipment to SON to find out if this one that particular equipment.
What do you mean by SON?
Standard Organization of Nigeria.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
just to add to what she has said, consumers need to be aware, for example, of they need to look out for the marketing details. An extra S, an extra C, an extra A could make the difference. So when you're buying, we know those brand names. Most of us, when we go to the market to buy a phone, for example, you know what you want to buy. You know the name you want to buy. Ensure that there is no extra S somewhere or an extra P somewhere that would point to the fact that
so
it's
like
not
Samsung.
So
Sony.
there you go.
Okay.
You need to also do an on-the-spot check. When you're buying, don't just assume that because it's a new phone, everything is working. You can do a quick check to ensure that everything is in place. Send an SMS, make a call. Ensure that the earpiece is working properly. Another thing that we talk about is a lot of our consumers have a problem with rushing to buy things that come with a lower price tag, and I dare say that a lower price tag is usually sign of a lower quality as well. So you want to buy something that you want to be sure that the price is somewhere in the range of where it ought to be. I mean, a phone that someone else bought for 200,000 and somebody is offering it to you for 30,000. I mean, that should send off a red light instantly. Then you want to look at check the battery life, check some of these companies put on holograms and other symbols to help you see that these products are the genuine ones. You want to know what holograms to look out for. You want to look at what trademarks to look out for. You want to look out for some of these symbols. And I dare say that most of the people that do the substandard ones would not take the time to do all of that for you. So that would help as well.
Okay. And
then look for the in Nigeria, the Standards Organization of Nigeria has also made provision for quality marks. Okay. So look out for those quality marks to ensure that they have been tested and they have passed the test to run in Nigeria.
Okay, thank you very much. Before we go, Mrs. Nwanchu, could kindly let us know the sort of redress mechanisms available to the consumer.
having done all you should do as a consumer, you having purchased the